You'll usually encounter him in dancing clubs in major cities with a large following of women around him. The cool ethnic guy will try to befriend him, while charisma man will avoid him at all costs. Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this show, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch, and these are my co-hosts.
Natsuki.
And Alex, hello.
And today we're going to talk about the 10... This is only... Wait, before we talk about this, wait. I have to disclaimer. 1, everything we're about to say on the show is just for fun, guys. Don't get offended. It's just for fun. 2, this list that we're going to read today doesn't mean it's exhaustive, okay? There's a lot of people who are in this category that we're not going to mention today, so don't be offended by that. And finally, 3, if you happen to be one of the people that we're making fun of today, I don't care.
Leave a comment.
All right, today's topic is the 10 Gaijin guys that you find in Japan.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we're not gonna pick on women today. We're just gonna pick on the guys.
Just pick on the dudes, right?
Just on the dudes.
Right.
And then also one more thing I want to say. This mainly talks about Western foreign people living in Japan.
Right.
I realize that there's a huge population of, other non-English speaking foreign people living in Japan, but that's not, we don't want to make fun of those people, okay? That's not the purpose of today's show. Today is like entitled Westerners who come to Japan and the 10 types of them, okay?
All right.
So we're just gonna make fun of Westerners today. I realize that there's other foreign people living in Japan, but we're not making fun of them today, okay? Okay. So here we go. So number 1, the drifter.
The drifter. Okay.
Here's the explanation. This guy might have had a college education, but you wouldn't know from looking at him. You're not sure how he has a visa, as he works at the local vegan coffee shop while looking unshowered. He plays bongos on the weekends.
Plays bongos on the weekends.
We all know this guy.
I've seen someone like that. Yeah, actually, now you mention it. Yeah.
He's probably in his late 30s or 40s. He I don't know how he came to the country originally, and he kind of doesn't remember, and he's shady on the details.
Right.
But he works at some weird job, usually something hippie-ish,
Right.
and thinks he's a master at the bongos.
The world traveler. The hippie traveler.
And they look like they smell bad. They might not smell bad, but if you look at them, they look like they smell bad.
Wearing flip-flops.
Wearing flip. Oh, here we go. Wearing flip-flops. Yeah.
And what did they do on the weekend? Just bongo playing?
Bongo playing.
In the park?
They tell you about their super enriching experience
Aww.
with their yoga team in the forest.
Yoga team?
Yoga team in the fall. He has long hair.
Always long hair. Sometimes
bun.
some man bun or dreads. One of the two.
You don't see so many of those around anymore, right?
You do if you go to Tokyo.
Maybe they all died in the pandemic. Who knows? That's too dark. What?
We're 3 minutes into the podcast.
What? Man, if you're going to eat lentils all the time, it's not going to help you.
I didn't even know what lentils were, and I was seeing them all over the place, and I had to Google what a lentil was.
I see those kind of men in Okinawa.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Around the beach.
Maybe Yakushima as well, there's a few.
Around beach.
Who knows?
There's more than a couple in Yakushima for sure. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. By the way, these are all offensive, so if you're going to get offended by these, I'm sorry. But
I'm sorry.
Here we go. Number 2, the wash-up.
Okay.
Divorced and over 40, this man came to Japan probably with the armed forces and the first year of the JET program. Even though he's lived in the majority of his adult life in Japan, he doesn't speak any Japanese.
Right.
His half kids pretend to not know him when he waves to them in public.
Well, my kid does that sometimes. I know what that feels like. But that's just because I'm like an embarrassing person. So what can I say?
I was actually at Alex's house, and like his son has a field trip to his workplace.
Yeah.
And like Alex is like, I'm gonna be there at the entrance. Be like, hey son. He's like, please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, I did that, and he ignored me. And then the teacher came up to me and said, "Excuse me, who are you?"
Oh my god.
You're like, I'm that kid's father.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not like some weirdo. You know, I am supposed to be here.
But in your case, your son actually really loves you. In the case of this guy, the wash up, which I know like 5 of these dudes.
5 of them.
Like I'm like, so how many kids do you have? And they always start off with I think. They're like, I think 3, and they don't like me because my wife turned them against me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you did that to yourself, man.
Yeah, there's some with multiple wives as well.
Yeah.
Along the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of those around.
And they're like, I can't see my children. I'm like, do you actually try to make an effort to see your children? Do you love your children? Like, no.
See, I can't tell if they're happy to be in Japan or just stuck here.
Yeah, why are they still here?
I don't know, man. I see a lot of people who are kind of a bit dissatisfied and, you know, and like, come on, man, learn Japanese at least.
I always find them in like open plan bars where they'll like, hey Mitch, can you read the menu to me? I'm like, you're 50 and you've been living here longer than I have. Don't you feel embarrassed by this exchange?
Yeah.
They're just sad usually.
Yeah.
Like she's getting sad.
I mean, I can think of one, but I'm not gonna name him.
No names, please.
You've learned.
I've learned. Thank you.
Yeah.
No peace out
Josh has to do a
anymore.
lot less beeping this time. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Okay, so those are the kind of 2 sad ones. The next ones are more fun. Here we go. The cool ethnic guy. So this guy is a non-white foreigner, regardless of how he or she talked back home, develops a jazzy rap style of talking, is frequently approached by Japanese girls with do you know what a cornrow is?
No.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
the
it?
tight little braids.
I see.
Like the ganguro girls, they do that. So often approached by girls, Japanese girls with cornrows.
Like hip hoppers.
Yeah, like a hip hop version. His children are expected to be the best at dancing and sports the moment they're born.
Wow. Racist much?
No. So I know like 3 of these guys. They're not
Really?
necessarily black either. They can just be non-white.
Right.
Come to Japan and all of a sudden they like try to be like rap stars.
Really?
And you're like, dude, were you a nerd back home playing video games like me? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, why are you talking like a jazz singer?
And he's like a baller. All of a
Yeah,
sudden.
I'm just like, what happened to you? Like,
Mind you, you sent me a link to a video
Yeah.
where Steven Seagal comes out like that and he talks like a jazz man all of a sudden. Now, you know what I mean? It's town. Check it out. It's funny as
Jesus. Can we say that one? I don't know.
Can we not beep it out then? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll put the link to that in the description.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, there's really no
Yeah,
way
he's
to say
going, you don't check your 6 anymore.
Right.
Like, speaking like that.
And
it's
there
like,
are
whoa.
foreign guys who come here and they're just non-white. Okay, so they're anything. I have one that's a Native American friend.
Right.
One who's a full Japanese guy but born in America.
Yeah.
Right. And they come here and then they just start speaking like a jazz singer.
How do they talk? Can you do an impression?
I can't do
an
it.
impression. Go on.
I can't do it. But then they get the role of like the cool ethnic guy, right?
Right.
But at home, there's no way they're that guy.
Right.
You know, they're just like they're basically like the rest of us, like geeks. But then
Yeah.
they're like,
At the home, you mean their home country?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep talking.
and then you're just like, what happened? And then they stay, and then they go back home and they start talking normal again. I've seen so many of these guys. You've never met a guy like this, Alex.
Yeah, I can't think that I have, to be honest with you. I have met people who talk a certain way, and when their friends phone up on a FaceTime call, walking along with them, and the voice totally changed.
Like, hey guys, how
And
are
it's
you?
like, hey, how's it going? And it's like, what? Like, you weren't talking like that before. But I kind of get the idea, right? But
Yeah, they like to drop like bro and dog and stuff like that. And you're just like,
Dog.
you're not a rapper, dude. Like,
yeah, I
what
don't
are
know
you
anybody
doing?
who calls me dog. But I am from Yorkshire, so there you go. That's probably why, right?
Josh, do you know any people like this? By the way, this list was inspired by 5 other lists that I kind of like summarized and put together. These are not my ideas. Well, some of them are, but
I mean, I do know a lot of foreigners that act differently in front of like Japanese people and then like foreigners. So it's kind of in the same boat. Like they act much cooler. Like, oh yeah, this is who I am. Yeah. And then like when I'm hanging out with them, I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going?
how's life?
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Oh yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That's cute.
Come on, dog.
I think what this is mostly like is like maybe there's because I think before, like maybe 50 years ago, most of all the people who would like be considered a foreigner in Japan were like white people.
Right.
And so like they got a certain stereotype associated with them. And then these are the non-white foreign people who like, oh, we're not like those white people. We're cool.
Right.
So like I said, they get like that kind of characteristic about them, which I'm totally fine with. I just think it's funny. All right, number 4, the anime fan. This guy speaks Japanese like an anime character. Having learned everything he knows about Japan culture from Japanese cartoons, this guy is either completely ecstatic to be in Japan or completely disappointed with real life Japan. One of the two. He oftentimes makes friends with a local gaming group, and he hangs out at otaku bars in hopes to one day become accepted.
Yeah, I know some of these. Fucking nerds, man.
Like so many ALTs, like some ALTs.
These are not just all ALTs, but these are like college
Yeah.
kids too, and like
I see.
No, I don't mind them, but they are f***ing nerds. What can you say? I don't know. I'm really not into anime and manga, but
I appreciate.
I can get why people like it.
I
right?
appreciate
Yeah.
the fans, but when they come to me and they start talking to me about like anime, like on really deep levels, I'm like,
I do not care. You know what I mean? But
no. We did a show a long time ago where they like I think Josh quizzed us about anime or something. I didn't know any of the answers. I was like, I don't know.
But I think like there's a kind of an assertion that like if you come to Japan, it's okay to be weird and kind of be into that, and everybody else is going to be into it too.
Because don't you feel like there's
But-
like that niche of the people everywhere? Like,
Yeah, there is like that kind of otaku community, and they are into it, which is cool. And if you get accepted them by it, it's also cool. But some people kind of go too far when they come to Japan, just expect everybody to be into it. And it doesn't work like that. It's like pockets of communities, right? And probably getting into those is quite hard.
yeah,
So I think that's where the kind of disappointment comes in, right?
they're not immediately accepted.
Yeah, it's hard to get accepted by those people.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be super into it, right? Like Japanese nerds are super into such shit. They know everything about it.
Yeah, I feel like, especially when you get to otaku stuff, like there's no like casual otaku.
Yeah.
They're like into it. It's their identity.
It's like a mental illness. Seriously, it's that.
Sorry, guys.
that too much?
It's gonna be one of those shows.
Yeah. No. Seriously, it's that obsessed.
Yeah.
It's super obsessed. It's not bad, but
I watched like a group of train otaku on a platform in Nagoya, I think it was, like taking pictures of a train and like comparing the pictures that they took to each other on their giant iPads and shit. And I was just like how do you, why, like what? And it wasn't even like a special train, I don't even think. Like maybe it was, I don't know, but I was just like, how are you this into? And then I got on a train and left, and they stayed, so they're still looking at trains, maybe to this day. Who knows? Like,
still there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Good for them though.
Yeah, anime, manga's fine, whatever, man. But it's like,
Do you
Yeah.
watch anime?
I do sometimes.
Have you ever met an anime talking foreigner before?
In America, yes.
In America?
really.
Oh, was
Did
that
they
your
all-
ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
Really?
That's how he got interested in me, maybe.
Right, I see. Yeah.
Did he speak Japanese?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
Zero Japanese.
But he liked
Yeah,
anime.
yeah. He knows many Japanese anime that I don't even know, like deep level.
Yeah.
If you're a future weeaboo and you're at home, looking forward to your life in Japan, when you come here and you start rattling off about Naruto or whatever anime crap that you love, no one knows. Like,
Naruto knows.
yeah, but no one knows in detail. You're
Yeah,
like, oh,
right,
it's that
right.
character, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
orange guy.
Yeah. I've heard of it, but
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, there are those communities that you could totally get into and be accepted. Don't all of you future want to be living in Japan people, don't feel we're making fun of you.
I wonder if there's like a group of Japanese people who are super into like Marvel or something like
There
that, or
are.
DC, and they go to America to find.
There are, and they go to Comic-Con and they're accepted with love.
Yeah.
There are.
Well, I think that kind of, to me, if you're just super into something, it's kind of cool anyway, to
Right.
be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm joking about being nerds and shit
Yeah.
like that. But
He's not joking.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
When he
but-
drinks, he gets worse.
Yeah, come on. But if you're really into something and you like it, and there's other people that like it as well, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't
good.
see, there's no problem with it. But,
Love what you love.
Yeah.
I have a foreign friend. He's not anime, but he's into idols.
Yeah.
And don't say his name.
Okay.
And I was always fascinated by his fascination with idols. And then like finally I got it. wherever he goes, he has a community.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got friends wherever he goes. He just goes to the local idol bar or whatever or club and just like, hey guys, I'm this guy. I like these idols. I'm legit. Look at my backpack. I have all the merch.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he's got a family.
But the funny thing about him is he's massive. He's huge.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But does that matter?
But it's just that he likes all the cute stuff. So it's
Oh.
like, what? You know, just
He likes to support the cute stuff.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't partake in the cute stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a fan.
Yeah.
What is good is his wife accepted.
Yeah.
She's thinking from the wife angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's a thing that you have to do. I recently learned that like your wife can ground you. Like I didn't know that was a thing.
Can she?
Well, I didn't think that was possible, but I learned from a coworker that that's possible.
Maybe it's not worked on me yet. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Have you ever grounded your husband and said don't go out and play?
No, zero. Because if I do that, she does same thing to me. So I want to go out.
Just
so-
ground each other.
Yeah, ground each other.
And you're both at home angry.
Yeah. No, zero. He can go.
All right, let's go on to number 5. And this one, Alex has brought it before.
Yeah.
Charisma Man.
Oh,
Characterized by the 1998 comic by the same name, he is usually a weakling white guy who is often picked on or ignored back in his home country and gains superpowers upon arriving in Japan. He immediately gets cocky and tries to erase the bad memories of being picked on in school by growing a larger-than-life ego. It's true.
No, I know a few of these.
Oh, there's so many.
And I do sway into it occasionally myself. You know, everybody veers into the charisma.
I think when you first get here in the first year.
Well, there's so much like, you know, compliments like people say to you. Like, you know, whatever.
Like what? Like what?
It's mostly-
Kakkoi toka.
Yeah, but it's like, it's half compliments and then half of it is oseiji. Like, they don't know what to say, so they just...
No, I just take it as literal fact.
What is the word? Patronize. They patronize you.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the word for oseiji.
I'll take whatever I can get, man. I'm like, you know, if you're going to compliment me, welcome. Thank you.
Many people believe it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can give you names.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, they might mean a little bit, but they're like, oh my God, you're the coolest looking guy I've ever seen. And you're like, no, because you've all watched movies. Like, don't give me that crap.
Yeah.
You know.
But some people do take it on full board, like, and believe it. Yeah, and we've seen what happens to them.
In the comic book, which you guys, if you've never Googled this, Google it. It's hilarious. It's so 1990s. But anyway, they make fun of the Charisma Man character by saying that his arch nemesis is like the Western woman
Yeah.
who sees through his bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not actually true. The Charisma Man's enemy is the other Charisma Man.
Oh, really?
Because usually these two guys, they exist in like isolation of each other.
Yeah.
But when they're both together, it's like another 90s reference, the Highlander.
Yeah, there could be only one.
Yeah, they have to fight each other. It's like, it's true. And then then there's all this posturing. And they're like, I'm cooler than you. And then you just watch it from the side, eating popcorn, drinking beer. And you're like, this is great. I love this.
No, there's that weird moment of tension when you see like another foreigner and you've come into the space and it's like, some people are like, you're encroaching on my Japan. You know what I mean?
It's Spidey senses, dude. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
just like walking around and I even do this. And I'll look up and I'm like, whoa, Westerner, I don't know you. Who are you? Why are you in my Japan?
But do you do the kind of Gaijin nod to each other? Like as you walk past each other, you kind of... I
don't-
I do it sometimes. Sometimes I just go and say hello or whatever. And people have blanked me before, like walking past the other way. Literally blanked me. And then this other dude, he goes, he stops and started talking to me. So I was chatting to him and I was like, oh, how's it going, man? And he goes, what are you doing here? You on holiday? I went, oh, no, I kind of live in Kagoshima. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I live here too. I've lived here a very long time. So I know everything about the area. And I was like, oh, wow, you must have been here for years then. He goes, yeah, 3 years now. So I'm like, come on, mate.
3 years.
Okay, so to avoid all of that shit, whenever I'm out in public, I try my very best to make the other foreign guy feel like he's just blending in.
Right.
So I don't even make eye contact with them and just ignore them. So then they probably feel like I'm ignoring them.
Yeah, you
Now
do.
that I've thought about that.
I'm from Sheffield, though, so you walk around and say hello to everybody, right? In
Oh.
Yorkshire. That's what we do. Londoners don't do it. They don't get that. But Yeah, it's weird in Tokyo because there's more foreign people, so you don't generally kind of bother each other walking around.
Tokyo's good because most of the Japanese people are over the foreign people thing.
Oh yeah.
So they're just like, oh, it's a foreign person, get out of here. But in like other parts of the country, like, oh, Kakui, you're so cool. They're still doing that shit.
Yeah.
Less now, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to be not noticed in Tokyo with nobody staring at you, but at the same time, you get a bit sad. Like, why isn't anybody staring at me anymore?
I'm not the shiny special thing anymore.
Yeah.
All right, if you're a charisma guy at home, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It only lasts until you're about 27, and then they don't like you anymore because
They'll
you're
find
too
somebody
old.
new, yeah.
With no wrinkles. Moving on. Number 6, the talento. This dude, at least for the time being, that's the key part of the sentence, is in the mainstream media. He's great at Japanese and probably from an elite university. He's figured out the Japan game and he's taking full advantage of it. Average foreign guys often get compared to these talento, even if they look nothing like them. So this is like your, we were talking about him,
Park-kun.
Park-kun.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the guy that I know, or I met the one time in Fukuoka, Bobby Judo or whatever. I don't think he went to elite university, but he's good looking, speaks Japanese very well. Like all these guys who are in the media, like they do. If you're gonna come to Japan and you're gonna be like the fish, the fish out of water, be one of these guys.
Yeah.
Atsugiri Jason とかね。
Atsugiri Jason.
It's hard to get into that position though, because you've got to be familiar enough with Japanese and Japanese society that respect you to put you in that role, right? But at the same time, there's always a little bit of it's the foreigner opinion, so it doesn't matter that much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Park-kun less so because he's on quite serious programs as an MC and a host and stuff, but you know.
But the younger ones are just basically like let's torture the foreign person with Japanese culture and laugh about it. And that's more fun and easier.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people like that. In I used to be that dude. You used to be that dude. I mean, like it happens. But that is one of the people.
Yeah, talento.
Talento.
Yeah.
Is talent English?
Talent.
The word talent is like the
TV
the star.
personality?
Yeah.
Yeah, or actor or whatever.
Yeah. We would call actors and actresses artists.
Artist.
And then we would say like, dancers and things like that are usually talent. Yeah. Next, number 7, the athlete. Usually a basketball player from North America. This guy is either really, really huge or really, really buff. You'll usually encounter him in dancing clubs in major cities with a large following of women around him. The cool ethnic guy will try to befriend him, while charisma man will avoid him at all costs.
Oh, that's so funny.
面白いね。
So...
I know a few people like
right?
this. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, dude, you walk into a club and you see the giant basketball player in the back of the club and he's just got an entourage of women.
But you don't see those kind of men in Kagoshima, right?
Not
No,
so
we're not
much.
talking about Kagoshima right
I
now.
know, I know, in
Oh, no,
Japan.
I did.
I have,
You
yeah.
did?
I had a friend
Yeah.
who was the giant basketball player and you couldn't take him anywhere.
Huh.
He was 2 meters, 208 centimeters, something
Is
like
that
that.
the ethnic guy?
There were 2 of them, and then there was one who wasn't. He was just a standard giant white guy. But like,
Okay.
yeah, all 3 of those dude,
White guy.
all 3 of those guys were super popular.
Aww.
And one of them, I forgot his name. He was so big from, I think from the Bahamas. The first time I saw him, I was like, I cannot compute. He was so large.
He was huge.
Yeah, I took a picture with him. I was like, dude, I'm going to act like a Japanese girl. Can I take a picture with you?
I took that picture.
Yeah, I think
actually.
so. Yeah, but anyway, you'll find them in clubs and like they're not dancing because that would probably be dangerous for everybody involved, but they're just there. And then the girls are just like, rah.
So charisma man doesn't like that because that's the reality of like an alpha male abroad.
Right,
Right,
that's a real, it's a real man.
And who's the other one? I forgot.
The ethnic male's like, "What's up, bro?" And he takes one of the girls that's not so into him.
That could happen. Sorry, levels off the chart.
But no, like so I had one of those friends, right? And he's the big basketball player. I just couldn't take him anywhere. Like everywhere we went, we just like people would just catcall him because he's just you don't see that, you don't see even in the West, you don't see people that are over 2 meters tall usually.
Yeah.
He was huge.
Yeah, and he wasn't like the best looking guy, but because he was huge and athletic, all the girls went for him.
Right.
Was he your type?
No, I mean, many people go to him because they wanted to just take a picture. He wasn't very popular, I believe.
Nah, he was popular.
Oh,
You just
okay.
weren't watching at the right time,
okay.
sweetie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
But anyway, so if you guys ever go to a nightclub in Japan, you'll find at least one of these guys, if not two, because they're hanging out with each other, and you're just like, oh, I can't go over there. I can't compete with those guys.
Cool.
No, and dude, you look at them like this. You know, it's just because I never look up in Japan.
Aw.
You know what I mean? Like when there's somebody
Yeah,
who's
that's
taller than
true.
me in Japan, it's weird.
Well, sumo wrestler occasionally, but
Yeah.
apart from that, no.
Guys at home, sumo wrestlers, they look fat and short on TV. They're not
Massive.
short.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah, they're huge. They're tall. So that's all right. Let's move on. So
Anyway.
that's a sports guy, athlete. Here we go. Number 8, the traveling Western businessman, usually in a suit and usually fatter than his Japanese counterparts. These guys come to Japan for business during the day and red light districts at night.
Right.
They might be married, they might be divorced, but none of that matters as they speak loudly in English to neighboring tables of women who pretend not to understand them.
Right.
We've all met this guy.
Yeah, I've seen that before, yeah.
Even me, I've met those kind of men in Osaka.
They're so bad. Yeah. Talk about that.
I used to work for Lounge as a part-time job, and
Yeah.
then many businessmen, Japanese businessmen, take that kind of following Western businessmen to the Lounge. I mean, like something like Kabakura.
Yeah.
And then I explain them how to do with the manners things.
Yeah.
And then, like you cannot drink until I said like itadakimasu or things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have seen those kind of men.
Are they fatter than their Japanese?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And then they sing Beatles.
They sing the Beatles.
God. No, but that's kind of forced upon you, right? Everybody goes, oh, sing a Beatles song. You know, I
Maybe
get it
for
all the
you.
time.
No
All
one
the time.
forces me to sing, bro.
What do they sing you to do?
They don't. They say, don't touch the microphone.
That's a good idea. I've heard him singing. Awful. Awful.
So bad.
Yeah, bleeding ears, man.
Yeah, no, really, it's really bad. But we were actually in Tokyo once, and we were doing a drinks thing with some gaming industry people. I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to shit on these
Yeah,
people
but
if they
don't say
remember
that.
who they are. But there was a table that was next to our table, and they were just out of control. These white guys, and I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, oh man.
Well, they started out all normal. I mean, they were very successful people. So
Yeah.
we're talking like they had a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they started out quite calm and rational. And then as soon as they had a couple of drinks, they turned into Team America. And it just went fucking apeshit, didn't it? It was
Yeah,
tough.
and then I was apologizing because the staff would go to their table and come to our table. I was like, "Gomenasai, ne. I'm so sorry, so sorry about them. I'm different. Don't put me in the same category."
Yeah.
Don't put me in the same category.
So we left them behind and went somewhere else. didn't
Yeah, we ditched them because they were like, "Where are we going next?" And me and Alex were like, "We're going home,
Yeah.
home." Number 9, we have to mention this one, the Mormon.
The Mormon.
bicycle
I
guy.
know. Yeah.
Just like they appear all over the world, these clean, usually handsome guys ride around town doing the Lord's work. Never seen at drinking parties and always smiling, these guys generally get ignored by all other foreign guys.
They cannot drink.
No, they can't
They
drink.
can't drink caffeine even.
No coffee, no
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, maybe some teas, but no alcohol for sure.
Huh.
Yeah. Jesus.
Like, I don't know where they are most of the time. Like I say, he says, I see them sometimes. And one time, one of the guys tried to bring the message of the Lord to me at Daiso.
Yeah. At Daiso, it's an appropriate place to do it.
He came
Yeah.
up to me. He was like, "Friend." That's the
Friend.
first thing he said to me.
Yeah.
Friend.
What did you say? Elder.
No, what did I say to him? It was flippant. I don't remember what I said. It was rude. I said something very rude to him.
Oh.
Right.
Like don't bother me with your bullshit or
Oh
something.
no! Be nice to them.
And I just walked past him, and I think
What he want? What did he want?
to tell me about Mormon
Oh,
stuff.
God.
I see. I thought
Do
he.
Mormons wear special pants? Or is that just me that's thinking that?
Mormons have special underwear. That's his thing. Mitt Romney was asked about that when he was running for president.
I thought he was in trouble and wanted you to, help him.
No, actually,
in
because
Daiso.
that's another thing that I should mention. These Mormons, they speak fluent Japanese when they come
Oh,
here.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
speak
yeah,
Japanese well.
They're
Really?
amazing Japanese because they go to language academy for a year before they come here.
Oh.
They speak amazing
They
Japanese.
actually believe that they're going to convert people to Christianity. They've not realized
Is that
it's
Christianity?
not working. Nobody in Japanese people care, right?
Yeah, I mean, they do get some people.
But the success rate's so low. It's just like, give up, man. You know, they're never going to be Christian.
But that's the point of their hard work, is that they are here doing that hard work.
I wonder how many of them a year like crack up and just go mental and go out and get shit-faced and then, you know,
That's why they
get
have.
laid.
That's why they come with two.
Right.
So you have accountability at all times.
Oh, right.
So they never send them out by themselves.
Yeah. I might go and try and, sway a few Mormons.
You try to convert Mormons to be bad people?
Yeah, I'm going to take them down the red light district at night and convert this. Yeah.
Let me say before we move on to the last one, Mormons, ex-missionaries to Japan, make the best staff, from what I've been told.
Oh, really?
If you want to hire someone who's proficient in Japanese, who will never do anything like, questionable in their private life.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have a crazy private life.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're also not afraid to sell themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they come to Japan, they do sales of their religion for 2 years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're like some of the best people to hire for your Japanese or global company.
But they do have insane religious beliefs. So
Well, just don't talk to them about
Where
that.
is the head office of Mormons?
It's not like a company, dude. It's not a company, man. But their head temple is in
Head temple.
Salt Lake City.
Ah, so
Yeah, it's in
they're
Salt
all
Lake City.
Americans, maybe.
Obviously,
The bicycle guys.
you're just so offensive.
the bicycle guys.
Yeah, the bicycle guys are all American. No, Mormons exist all over the world, but most of the ones that come to Japan probably came from America.
Salt Lake City.
Not Salt Lake, but from America. yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shit, Mormons.
We actually have a giant Mormon temple in my hometown of Las Vegas because they actually established Las Vegas.
Really?
Oops.
Is that right?
Oops.
On their running away from the people who wanted to murder them in America quest,
Yeah.
they stopped in the meadows of Las Vegas and made a little establishment before continuing on until Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
And that little establishment in Las Vegas bloomed out into what we have now as Las Vegas.
Wow.
So it really didn't keep up with the Mormon teachings.
Yeah, it's not so Mormon, is it,
No,
Vegas?
it's not. That's because the mafia took over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it was. It was like a rest stop
Right.
the Mormons made. Yeah.
Well, I met a few of them, and they kind of seem fairly agreeable.
They're
quite-
great people.
Yeah, all right, but I just don't believe what they believe. So
They'll teach you how to make root beer. They make homemade root beer.
do they?
Yeah.
Ah, maybe I'll learn a bit from them, and I'll teach them about real beer instead.
Not root beer.
Mormon, I don't want to shit on Mormons. Actually, Mormons are some of the kindest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah, yeah.
I just do agree with Alex on the believe whatever you want, just don't try to sell it to me because
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be offensive if I continue that sentence. So let's go to this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just number 10 out of the 10 people. The Happy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like Josh?
It's like Josh, but this is not Josh.
Okay.
Josh is not like this.
Okay.
Born in a Western country to almost certainly a Japanese mother and Western father, this guy is in Japan in order to reconnect with his roots. He often speaks Japanese like a 10-year-old, can't read can't read a single kanji, and either gets married and lives in Japan forever or returns to his home country after only living here for 1 year.
Right, yeah.
Now, this isn't Josh because he breaks
No,
a
no.
lot of these, but you know these people.
Yeah, I met a couple of people like that.
The worst are the ones that come with a chip on their shoulder thinking they speak perfect Japanese, and then you hear them talk and you're like a child.
Well, the reason for that is because they learnt from the mother.
Right.
So it's all like mama Japanese. It's like mother-child
Japanese.
relationship. So they speak like kids, even though they've grown up.
Yeah.
And they never seem to be able to break that habit. So it sounds really dumb, to be fair. But at the same time, Japan's not very accommodating to these people, right?
They
Yeah.
they get less acceptance than we do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because you have Japanese blood and you should know.
You should know, yeah. Yeah, it's another thing. But you're not one of us.
Right.
That's the other. It's not fair at all.
No.
You know?
As a father with 2 half kids.
Yeah, I know. But my kids were raised in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different for them.
If they go back home to England, are they just like people?
Well, they don't look super Japanese. So if they went to like England, people might think they're from another country. And in England, nobody really cares that much.
Yeah.
It's like the US. No one really gives a shit where
It's
you're
like
from.
it's a thing to talk about while drinking. It's like, where are you from? Oh, my roots go back to blah blah blah. Who cares?
Yeah. But if you can't speak English, you will get picked on. That's the thing.
If they speak English, they will pick up. If they go to the countryside of England, people don't care.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
They might look at my wife a bit more than me.
Yeah.
Just think, oh, look, he ordered her on the internet or something. I don't know.
Is that a thing? It was like, did you guys have like a lot of like Asian bride stuff in the past?
We had some weird reactions in the countryside in northern England, and a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest with you. Nothing ever said, but just the kind of environment, the kind of,
Well, maybe now, especially with Brexit and everything, that's kind of...
Yeah, but that does exist, you know what I mean? And it exists anywhere in the world, people can be a dick,
Okay, so in America, we have a whole lot of racism all over the place. But one thing I never thought of, because I grew up around, like mixed people. And like, I never thought that people were that racist towards Asians in a negative way.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like positive stereotype, like positive discrimination towards Asians, like, oh, you're good at math or something.
Yeah.
But like one of my friends who's Asian traveled with her boyfriend at the time to Buffalo, New York, and like the parents just told her to leave. Like,
really?
Get out.
Fuck.
That's sad.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I can't imagine any of the like the non-Asian families that I know saying that. You know what I mean? Like just I was like, oh wow, I guess wherever you go, there's stupid people. Like,
I think Japanese people, if you're brought up in a homogenous society, so it's like 97%, more than 97%, Japanese basically, and you go abroad, that sense of other is much more shocking, right, than it is for us.
Yeah.
Who, we see people around us from different ethnicities who might get shit from other people.
Yeah.
And we can kind of guess what it might be like for them, even if we don't understand it.
Yeah.
But in Japan, because they never see it even.
They can't empathize.
Yeah, I can't empathize. And when it happens to them, they get really shocked. Like Paris syndrome, is it called?
Yeah, Paris syndrome.
Yeah, when all the women go to France and the French people are rude, like they always are,
I also don't like French people. I'm serious. I'm sorry. I don't like French people. Not all French people, but...
Yeah, but anyway.
Just everyone that I've met so far. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But, they get... super shocked by the fact that the culture's way different than they imagined it, and they feel kind of isolated and left out and all that shit. But, yeah, there is a lot of that.
I produced another show, and actually the star of that show, he is a Japanese guy, went to go live in America. And the reason why he is a DJ, radio personality, is because he was discriminated against for being Japanese in America.
Oh, really?
And he felt bad, and he just stayed at home for like 3 weeks. And while he was at home, he was listening to the radio. And then as he was listening to the radio, he's like, this guy who's on the radio, I can't see him. I can only hear his voice. It doesn't matter who he is. And he's always happy. He's like, this is like a great job. I want to do this. No, he started thinking about that. That was his inspiration.
Seems like he had a nervous breakdown or something.
He kind of did, but that radio helped him through it.
Right, yeah.
And he came back, and now he's like one of the, he's a great radio personality. So that does happen.
I didn't know that. That's a good story.
Yeah. So we can't talk about halfies without getting Josh to chime in. What do you think about the description of the half Japanese person?
Can you go through it one more time?
Japanese mom.
That's not me.
Well, we're not talking about you.
I know. I'm just...
Japanese mom, can't read kanji, and talks like a 10-year-old. And either comes here and stays here forever, or goes home after being here for 1 year.
I actually know a few half Japanese people that like fit that description to a T. Yeah, I mean, like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Now, you grew up in Hawaii. How many half Japanese Hawaiians are there? Not Hawaiians, but people in Hawaii.
I mean, a lot. Especially, well, I don't know, especially my island, but I do know, like, the high school I went to was kind of like the high school in the district where all the, like, Japanese people lived. So, like, a lot of people I knew were half Japanese or quarter Japanese or some percentage Japanese. Like, a lot of them.
There's a lot of Japanese influence in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So these are the 10 guys that we know. Did we miss any of them?
Culture nerd.
Oh yeah, actually I was thinking
That's
about
me, that. Probably.
Not just the culture nerd, but maybe the guy who, like, we were talking about this before, like he wants to be Japanese. And any like I know guys like this, like they'll just live their Japanese life. And then when you approach them, even if there's no other Japanese people around, and you speak to them in English, they'll be like, "This is Japan. Speak to me in Japanese."
Oh, I hate that.
And they like wear kimonos and stuff, and you're just like,
well, I don't see. There's nothing wrong with wearing kimonos, or if it's like some.
I'm talking about
activity.
to go to the convenience store.
But no, that's not good. But yeah, I have never ever wanted to be Japanese. So a lot of people say to you, "Nihonjin yori Nihonjin rashi,"
Like you are more Japanese than Japanese people.
Yeah, but like I always go like, no, I'm not. You don't know me very well. But yeah, I met a guy from the Spanish embassy who came down to Kagoshima, and we were chatting for a bit. And he comes up to me at the end and he goes, "Alex, you're a great man. You're a great man because you are not Japanese. You're English, even though you live here for so long." And I was like, "Oh, right, okay. Why do you think that?" And he goes, "Because you just walked up to me and shook my hand and looked at me in the eye like a man." And I was like, okay. All right then. But he was saying like Japanese people abroad, even diplomats and stuff, everybody else is like Pierre from France and Jose from Spain and, Werner from Germany. But the Japanese guy is always Suzuki-san. So he said, why do you have that barrier between these countries? Why can't you just be Ichiro or whatever?
Yeah.
Or whatever your name is. So he always felt like there was a weird boundary between people.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Japanese people did it themselves through their own culture,
That does. I mean, maybe that happens with all countries, and I just don't notice the reverse side of it. But I do see that when everybody has a chance to mingle, I do see Japanese people clump together a lot.
Yeah.
Like I never look at if you can speak English and we're in an English-speaking environment. I never go, okay, American, let's hang out. Screw the Brits.
Yeah.
It never happens.
No, that's true.
Like we're all team English speakers.
Yeah.
At that time.
I notice a lot on business trips abroad with because I go with a lot of Japanese people on business trips, and I'll be the only foreign person.
Yeah.
And it's so tiring, like wrangling a group of Japanese people in the UK or France or wherever it is, because they just want to do things their way, and they don't give a fuck about what the other country wants or does. It's always the Japanese way, and also they only talk to other Japanese people at receptions and stuff. So I'm out networking with all people from different countries.
Is it a language barrier problem?
It's partially language and partially kind of social interaction. They don't know how far they can do it without being rude or pushy.
Yeah.
So at a party or something like that, when you're trying to meet lots of people, you've got to know when you can butt into the conversation and when you can't.
That's hard.
And it's real difficult, yeah. It's hard for me in Japanese as well, to know when you can insert yourself into a conversation. But yeah.
What about other Asian countries people? If they go to England or like some English speaking country, do they do like?
I would suggest that some other Asian countries are more aggressive.
Yeah.
In the business field.
Oh really?
Especially Chinese can be very aggressive, and Koreans can be very aggressive. Not in a negative way. I mean, like they speak with confidence, more confidence, and then
right.
I see a lot of like business stuff in the business world, and I think that the kind of interaction can be a lot easier than constantly having to, because the Japanese it's a high, what is it called, context society, so they're not always saying everything that they mean. You have to like understand, so
I think they hesitate a lot because you're not quite sure how senior the other person is, right? So if you go up at a party and you meet somebody who's actually very important in another company, the way you react will have to change to fit that. And I think they're often quite scared of, being rude or doing something wrong and making a bad reputation for themselves. But kind of Westerners don't care so much about status in that environment. So it could be the CEO of a company or somebody very senior, and they're just chatting with other people.
Friendly,
friendly, because it's not a business meeting. It's like a social event.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Japanese people are kind of a bit standoffish about that and a bit scared of it.
Well, because their social events usually have like rules, and like there's a guide, like what your job is, and that's what you do. It's not free. There's like a structure to it. You know?
But I've never thought I wanted to be Japanese ever. I do appreciate the culture here, the history, the language as well. I don't really like the language actually. I only like to do the language because I want to know about the culture. But I've never ever thought I'd want to be Japanese. Not once.
Like I've never thought about being Japanese. I mean, I'm a quarter Japanese. My mom is Japanese, but I never thought about myself as being Japanese. I also don't really see myself as being like your typical American. I'm just kind of me.
Yeah.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, I'm just me.
But you're kind of weird for an
I'm
American.
very weird.
Yeah.
I'm very weird. It's okay though. we accept me. I accept me.
Are there any other foreigners we missed out on then? Any other
Foreign
types?
guys?
Foreign dudes? No, I can't think.
Where are you belong to?
So I was thinking about where I fall on that list. I don't think I fall on that list. I think there's times where I could be put in categories, but I don't. I think I've just been here too long. Maybe I'm going to be the wash up.
My God.
Can you categorize him?
Maybe you already are.
Oh God! If I get some bongos, I'll let you know.
Get the bongos, yeah. I don't know. Mitch is a hard one to place because he falls into different categories.
I'm weird.
Yeah.
I'm here because I like the game of it all. Like, it's fun for me. And I've already said this before. Like, I mean, if business wins, travel all over the world, if there's an opportunity for me to grow my brands or to do something exciting that's not particularly in Japan, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not, it's not so much about the Japan for me. It's the everyday experience and my friends.
I think you've been here long enough, though, it just becomes normal.
Right.
Everything becomes normal. So
do you get reverse culture shock when you go home?
A little bit, yeah. Like if you get on the train or something like that and someone's banging on the phone, like in a loud voice, you just think, oh, shut up, But yeah, and other things like Starbucks, for example. If you go to a regular Starbucks in the UK, service sucks, man.
Starbucks in America is great. It's better than Japan. Yeah, because they're friendly.
Oh, right, yeah.
They write your name on the cup and they're like, hey, Mitch, how you doing today?
I do miss that banter, the talking or whatever. So, like, one thing, like, sometimes it's not always good service, but it's fun.
It's friendly.
And it's friendly.
Yeah.
So I went to a pub in, like, Sheffield, and this guy was chasing a bee, like a wasp or something, around with a beer glass, trying to catch it so it wouldn't sting any of the customers. And in Japan, the customers would also stand up and help out, right?
Right.
Get out of the way and move the drinks, and everybody would cooperate to get it done. But in this pub in England, this dude's trying to help these customers, and they're all going, yeah, go on, mate, get it angry. Go on, mate. Like, and I just thought, this is brilliant. When I was there, I thought, this is just like, this is what I'm after.
Well, I always say that about Tokyo Disneyland. Sorry, guys, but like they're so formal. Like even on the rides, even they're like in a character. They're like, "Irashaimase." I'm like, dude. In America, they'd be like, "Go away! This place is dangerous. What are you doing here?" They're like in character.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Jungle Cruise, they do it like that.
Do they?
Oh, really?
Okay. They didn't do it anywhere else, like the Haunted Mansion, all that other stuff. It was just like
Jungle Cruise are great.
But
It's great.
Speaking of like reverse culture shock, the last time I was in America, I went to a grocery store and I was pushing the shopping cart in like a giant, like big box grocery store. I felt like a moron.
Really?
Because it's so big. I was like, why do we need this?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember it being this big. And I was just like, holy shit, this is stupid. Like navigating around this stupid big like aisles and everything. I was just like, this is dumb.
I don't get toilets in America. They've got a gap between the door and the thing.
That's so you can like, I don't know about that, but like the gaps on the bottom is so they can mop.
Oh, is that what it's for?
Toilets in Japan, when they're the good ones, they're so much better than American toilets.
Toilets are clean in this country.
Yeah.
You go to a public toilet in France, it's like, my God.
I don't
I've never
even
seen
want to
anything
go
like
to
it.
France. I don't.
Unbelievable.
don't-
France is. I'm sort of writing on France today. I like France. I do like France, but it's just the people that live there.
They've got you on a list now. You can't come anymore.
Just joking. Yeah.
Do you know any foreigners that we didn't put on the show? Guys.
No. Do you know? I mean, I cannot name it, right? No.
Not the person, just their character. Don't tell me
character
their
type,
name.
yeah.
Don't shit on the person.
I was thinking that I don't hang out with foreigners anymore except you guys. I cannot think of any. I like 10 years ago, maybe I can think of some, but no. Now we're in Corona. I don't, go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't see those kind of men anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I cannot think of any.
Well, I hope they come back because, the whole country being in lockdown right now and everything. We're just making fun of all of you guys, including you, Charisma Man. You're my fave.
Charisma man.
You're my fave.
I wanted to meet Charisma man.
You must have met a charisma.
I can name you some.
Yeah.
You want me to name you some?
After the show,
Yeah.
please.
There's tons of them, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just don't know because when you look at them, you don't realize that they're losers. Oh. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean that. I was just kidding.
That's rude.
We're just kidding. Maybe if you guys, if this is a fun episode for you guys, leave us a comment. We'll maybe make one about women foreigners in Japan, but there's so few of them.
Really?
Maybe like 5.
What, actual people?
Categories?
Like categories.
Oh, 5 people. No.
Maybe only just 5 people.
Yeah, okay.
Much more guys.
Yeah.
We could do one of those. We could do, I don't know if you guys have a suggestion for a show, leave us a comment. Today's show was intentionally offensive. It was just kidding around. We don't actually believe, well, some of it we believe. I mean, I think he really does hate French people.
No, I don't. I just dislike them. It's a difference.
Hate and dislike is different.
I think French people and English people have a mutual disdain for each other.
Yeah, we do. It's healthy.
It's healthy. It
I don't
happens.
have any French friends, so I cannot think of any.
There's probably a reason why you don't have any French friends. Burn! So anyway, guys, however you felt about this episode, let us know in the comments below. We just try to do it like a fun episode today, so don't be offended, Josh.
Huh?
He's not
Yeah.
paying attention.
Which one am I, anyways?
You're like the inversion of the happy. I don't know. Where would you put yourself?
I really don't know.
The athlete.
No, I'm not.
The athlete, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the shortest person here, I think.
You're still.
Where are you, Mitch? Where would you put yourself?
I think that I'd put myself in different categories at different parts, and now I think I've graduated the categories where I'm just like that guy. Like I do feel like I'm kind of like Mickey Mouse at this point. Like I'm just a character that they're like, oh, that's the Mitch character.
Right.
He's like the NPC that you approach for these things.
You've created your own genre
Yeah.
of foreign trope.
Yeah, because I don't really do any of those things and like you can immediately identify these people when they come like as
Right.
ALTs or whatever. You're like, oh, you're this category, you're this category, you're this category.
I don't know any LTs anymore.
I don't know any either, actually.
That's because they all fall into those categories and we don't like them. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just
They're all
kidding.
too young, man. They're all
Yeah,
very
they-
young.
Yeah. Although every now and then you get like a 40-year-old and you're like, how did you, what? Like,
Yeah.
did they miss you? Like, anyway, guys, we're just kidding around. Leave us a comment if you like today's episode. Please subscribe so you never miss an episode. And I'm not going to say smash, but I'll say click that like button.
Smash!
Jesus Christ. And we'll see you guys next week. Any last words about anything, Miss Natsuki?
Please subscribe.
Please describe.
And I feel describe as well, yeah.
Subscribe.
Any last words about French people, Alex?
I don't believe anything I said during this podcast. It's all
Oh, can I say that too? Me too. So we're cool.
it's all just spurious.
I think I'll leave with this just one statement. I think that all of us at this table, regardless of what foreign guy category you fall into, we'll still be your friend.
Yeah, I'll be your friend.
Yeah, we'll hang out. We'll show you the good places.
Give me the Gaijin nod when you walk past. And I'll know.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
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 Hey guys, Josh here. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Small Talk Japan. Small Talk Japan is filmed and recorded in Kagoshima at Story Studios. This week's episode stars Michi, Natsuki, and Alex, and is produced by me, Josh. The executive producer is Michi, and hair services done by Drops Temonkan. This podcast is brought to you in part by Stapleton A. Kaiwa. Leave us a comment below and let us know what you think. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed the show, click here to subscribe and click here to watch more. See ya!